Assume that's a yes, okay. So I'm gonna have a few minutes of remarks, and then there'll be certainly time for question and answer after my couple minutes. I know I'm between you and I assume a wonderful dinner, so I understand I'm the last guy between you and that, so I will try to keep it brief and then open it up for questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today here at the first annual Soul Foundation Conference. I'm hoping that you took a lot away from these last 2 days. And we're here to discuss a matter of great significance, government transparency regarding unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP. The veil of secrecy surrounding this subject has captured our collective curiosity far too long, and it's time for profound change. In a world where information is power, the transparency of our government and its allies holds the key to unlocking these truths that lie beyond our current public understanding. Imagine a future where we no longer need to speculate about our place in the cosmos, where the shadows of uncertainty are dispelled by the light of disclosure. The impact of revealing information on UAP crash retrievals and associated activities would be nothing short of revolutionary, and I assume all of us can agree to that point. First and foremost, embracing transparency on UAP matters is an affirmation to our commitment to truth and openness. It's a declaration that we, as a society, are ready to confront the unknown and unravel the mysteries that have perplexed us for decades. This willingness to confront the enigma not only builds trust between the government and its citizens, but also sets a precedent for a new era of accountability. The release of information on non-human intelligences has the potential to unite humanity in a shared quest for understanding, regardless of the ontological shock. No longer bound by the limitations of national borders, we would embark on a collective journey of discovery, transcending political distances or differences, and fostering a sense of global unity. The realization that we are not alone in this vast universe could serve as a powerful catalyst for international cooperation, reminding us of our shared destiny as inhabitants and stewards of the earth. Moreover, imagine the technological advancements that could stem from broad study. The integration of this kind of technology into our scientific knowledge could propel us to the future with unprecedented innovation, shaping industries, improving our quality of life. It's not just about knowing, it's about the potential to revolutionize our understanding of physics, biology, and chemistry, and other foundational sciences. Releasing this information in a controlled, planned manner, such as Carl Nell has discussed during the conference, as with the Schumer Amendment, has profound implications on our philosophical and spiritual perspectives. The acknowledgement of otherworldly intelligences challenges our very concept of existence, encouraging us to reconsider our place in the grand tapestry of the universe. It's an important and profound introspection and a catalyst for a new era of spiritual awakening. In conclusion, this movement ignited in December 2017 with Leslie and Ralph's famous article in the New York Times is not merely a matter of government transparency. It's a paradigm shift that holds the power to reshape our world. By embracing the unknown, we open ourselves to a future where truth, unity, and technological advancements and a deeper understanding of our existence converge. Let us advocate for transparency, not for ourselves, but for the generations to come as we embark on a journey toward a more enlightened and interconnected world. Thank you.
Who dares to ask the first question? Okay, well, let's line up.
Hi, Dave. I was wondering if you could comment on how far you think the United States, or indeed other countries, have got with the reverse engineering program, and have we got to fly these machines? Are they flyable?
I'm getting a little bit of double feedback. Do I need to mute my mic to hear it clearly?
Should I ask the question again, Dave?
I need to mute my mic, let me know. I was just getting like a reverb.
Let me know if you heard. Should I ask it again, Dave?
Oh, that sounds better. Okay.
Okay. I was wondering, Dave, if you could comment on how far the United States has got, or indeed other countries, in the reverse engineering program, and whether we've managed to fly these machines, and are they flyable?
I should have. All right.
Yeah, a lot of that I can't answer publicly. You know, a lot of it has been integrated in another U.S. Conventional classified program. All at this point.
Thank you, David, for everything you've done. I'm curious to know why you did what you did in coming forward and putting yourself up above the parapet and becoming a target. It's incredibly brave and inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of introspection and reflection to make the decision to come forward. You know, part of my looking into this subject and, you know, reporting my findings to the Inspector General, you know, I look back at my, you know, I served 14 years in the Air Force. I looked at, you know, two of my core values that the Air Force espouses, you know, integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. And that may sound, you know, offensive to many, but I really, you know, believe in that. And that's why I signed up to serve when I was a freshman in college 18 years ago. I didn't want to, besides living those core values, I did not want to look back 30 years from now when I'm an older man and feel a life of regrets. And I did not want to feel that, oh, I could have done something when I was, you know, still in the government, and I should have said something when this topic became normalized and the momentum was such that Congress was, you know, interested in it. And I saw what was happening behind the scenes in the preparatory movement for Chuck Schumer to propose this legislation. You know, I was aware of it many months before it was going to get released. I'll just say that. And I realized if I wanted to make a move that I would be probably proud of making, you know, 30 years from now, it was probably the right time. There was a combination of external factors that was happening with the subject, and, you know, supportive public populist, which I was paying attention to, you know, when I was still in government, and it kind of just allowed me to self-actualize in a way that I, you know, felt that it was, you know, selfless service, truly.
Thank you.
Hi, David. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, you know, more generally for your active service for coming forward on this issue. This weekend has really broadened my perspective, I would say, in terms of what I think might be going on, and some of that is, you know, diversity of, you know, you can think about it from a nuts and bolts perspective of vehicular types or behaviors, orbs versus tic-tacs versus discs, but also that there seems to be some pretty fundamentally sort of diverse nature of maybe behaviors or interactions. So can you, I don't know, fill us in to the extent that you can, and I know you're limited in what you can say, but to what extent do you see that as, in your experience, the people you talk to, is that a fundamental aspect of this, that there's lots of things going on, whether we think of them as different species or different types of NHI. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, certainly this phenomenon is not a, a singular type source, etc. I mean, many of the people I talked to that, were actively working on the program did use the term extraterrestrial when briefing myself and my colleagues, on their activities and kind of, that's the parlance they used within the program. But certainly I'm skeptical of that being the only origin, and that's why I'm happy that non-human intelligence has been used in the Schumer Amendment, because how do you determine origin? Do you believe the origin because your worldview says anything that doesn't look Homo sapien must come from elsewhere? So I'm I'm familiar with obviously the work Jacques Vallée and others have done, and I think certainly many scholars will probably back me up on this, where I think there's this non-corporeal phenomenon. Who knows what that is? Just like as Jacques Vallée has mentioned in Passport Magonia, right? It could be interdimensional, multidimensional, because the phenomenon shows itself in different forms over the years, from antiquity, witches sitting on chests, which maybe was the progenitor of the modern abduction phenomenon potentially. So I don't think the U.S. government quite has a handle on all the different types of origin of this phenomenon. That is kind of the vibe I got. Certainly the term extraterrestrial has been used behind closed doors with me, but I'm a little skeptical that is the total answer to the genesis.
Good evening. First off, thank you for your service to the United States Air Force, and thank you for everything you've done to get us to this point. My question is, in the context of hopefully the passage of the Schumer Amendment, have a more open conversation in government and public policy about UAP technology, have you or the Foundation given any thought to endorsing or advocating for like a UAP weapons test ban treaty or weaponization ban treaty to prevent the use of effectively next generation WMDs and the militarization of the technology?
No, that's actually a very interesting idea that I think is worth exploring. Certainly, in terms of space policy, there's like the Outer Space Treaty in 1967 and some of the other associated treaties in the 70s and stuff that talk about how we, claim celestial bodies for our own, which actually the treaty says you're not supposed to do. Like, U.S. is not supposed to claim either the moon for itself as a sovereign territory, and it's a maritime law of the sea that kind of applies to space. So, besides that and some of the conventional analogs in terms of test ban treaties, START, a 1 and 2, that kind of thing. That's actually a very interesting idea to explore, and I'll actually take note of that. Put that on my to-do list. That's actually something.
Thank you for being here today. I'm so sorry that you've been threatened for standing up in this topic, and I was wondering, what should we be doing as UFO researchers to protect ourselves and our families?
We're certainly following the laws, so that's why I'm very careful what I say. Anything specific I want to say, I do run it for publication, security review. Anybody who's had a top secret clearance, has been an intel officer, has to go through the same process. And I've always advocated for whistleblowing in a legal manner. If somebody's in the audience or has knowledge about these programs, there's established procedures through, the Inspector General, through obviously the Aero Office as well, as it relates to UAP. In terms of specific protections for private citizens, besides, understanding how to properly conduct research in a legal and ethical manner, I guess that's something I can think of off the top of my head, yeah.
Hi, my question's pretty brief. It's two parts. Why do you think this is happening now, and what do you think are the best next steps for the community to do?
Yeah, why it's happening now, I think it's just a culmination of the energy that, people who kind of fell in my footsteps, call it Lou Elizondo, Rick Bell, that kind of thing. And the energy that was created in 2017 and some of the effective congressional engagements to, know how this is a potential national security threat. I mean, certainly garnered the interest of the public. And there's been a good public engagements with the different media, whether it's YouTube, History Channel, and whatnot. I think that created that kind of interest in destigmatization. And next steps, I mean, certainly we don't want to rely on the government for everything, but the Schumer Amendment and also some of the provisions in the Intel Authorization Act that allows the Intel Committee's Defense Op Fund for special access programs that are not being reported to Congress is a step in the right direction. But this is quite frankly why we have the Full Foundation and certainly other 501c3s like Ryan Graves Foundation as well, is we need to basically create a parallel track of research and independent discoveries that aren't necessarily dependent on the U.S. government to provide us all the answers. Because ultimately, it's up to the chief executive to disclose, regardless of what the disclosure panel may come up with in terms of a controlled disclosure plan. But we should put all our eggs in that basket. So, creating think tanks, foundations, maybe some for-profit venture cap type organizations that look at material or things like the Galileo Project to do external collection, external sensing, to fingerprint the phenomenon in as many different ways as possible, optically, radar, etc., and broadly and openly discuss it through conferences like this and peer-reviewed publication, I think, is the right way. It's a parallel track. It's not to put all the eggs in one basket for, with the government, giving us all the answers.
Hey David, it's such an honor to be here with everybody here today and to speak with you. This is a historic meeting. I'm just so stoked. But I have a question for you. So 5 years from now, just picture yourself, daily life, the legacy that you've already built in the last year, and what you ideally would like to see in your own life, just moving ahead 5 years, like the whole world, but personal to you as well. I'm just curious where you'd like to see yourself.
Yeah, certainly I would love to go back to my private life. That would be great. It's not something that I ever thought I'd be doing in my life. I was on a very good trajectory in my intelligence career, so I've made it a abrupt dip to the right to become a public figure, which, I take that very seriously and I want to, effectively communicate. But personally, I would love, so the panel obviously is going to go to at least 2030. I would love to work on that as a staff member, not necessarily as a panelist. I think there needs to be luminaries that are the best scholars in the U.S. to be on that panel. But certainly, if the current or succeeding administrations would like to bring me on to support the panel in any way, I'll go get coffee just to sit in the room to listen to the discussions, out of professional and intellectual curiosity. So I would like to serve once more, go back to governments. What that looks like, I'm open to suggestions, but certainly if there's any way I can support the panel, even if it's through Full Foundation and maybe not going back to government service. I think it's just so important to help inform and guide those members, whoever gets put on that panel, and cross our fingers that the amendment gets passed within the National Defense Authorization Act here in a month. But I would just love to serve that way. That'd be great.
I can think of no better end to the conference than the things that Dave has already said, so I won't philosophize any further than that. So really, on behalf of, Peter, do you want to say anything, or you're good?
No, just thank you for being here. And Dave, thanks for showing up and giving us the last word.